What's up, guys? So it's funny because I was like, this is the first time that I'm playing Pokemon Violet on the big screen, and my TV's pretty big. It's either 50 or it's almost 50. It's at least 40 something. I forgot. It's been a while, but it's like 45 or whatever the increment is before 50. Anyway, um, I just popped it in for the first time on the TV, and I was like, man, this looks bad. Like I wish I could show people. I was like, oh yeah, I bought a capture card last week, so here we are. So see, like this guy is moving great now, but he looked like shit from a distance, man. Like look at this shit. Look, whoa, that's terrible. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, I was moving good the whole time. You were just imagining that I was moving like shit. No, but actually, this game looks fantastic on the Switch, like in handheld mode. So I was playing it at work today, and I was like, man, I don't know what people are fucking bitching about. Like the game looks great, you know, and like the environments are so huge and shit. But I mean, even the way it looks now, like I can get past it. I mean, it's Pokemon. Who gives a shit, you know? But I don't know. It's weird. It's weird because like the hair moves, so like it's pretty phenomenal. And for a Pokemon game, I mean, this is amazing, you know? If you grew up like with the older ones like me, but by that same token, did you just see that guy fucking flashing over there? Like, he literally flashed, and not the illegal kind of flashing, but the digital kind. That was weird, man. So I feel like they were definitely ambitious with this game, but the Switch is having a hard time keeping up. Like, look at this crap. This looks awful here. Is that a Pikachu? I don't think so. So, damn, look. See, look, I guess, like, I'm on the cusp of that person being rendered or not being rendered, so that's what makes it... See, look at that shit. Oh, there was two of them, okay. But now it looks great, so... I don't know what the better alternative would be, like, to just not have them... Like, that person way over there, like, right here on top of my head. Let's see how far we can see them. Like, I don't know what's better, the fact that I can still see them from way the fuck over here, or if it would just be better to not render them at all until they look like this, you know? And then this guy didn't render until I moved over here. What the fuck? But this is the biggest fucking area in the game thus far, though. You know, like let's go back to the area I was in before, where I bet you things will look a lot better because it was nowhere near as big as this, and let alone there being this many NPCs. I'm very impressed that there's this many NPCs. And to be fair, Pokemon's a handheld game anyway. But since I'm home and I've got the TV, and you know, like I want to play on the Pro controller, like I'm on the TV, you know, because I was about to put on my PS5, but I was like, you know, I feel like playing Pokemon, so yeah. So let's see what it looks like now. We might as well look at the load times too. That was really good for loadings, like for load times. So let's see. So I mean, yeah, like the areas are still huge and shit, but there's not like 1,000 NPCs, you know. So but yeah, honestly, I'm mostly amazed. I mean, I think this looks great, you know. Like the fact that there's a lot to explore and how expansive it is. I mean, you know, I play games for fun, and there's a lot of fun to be had here everywhere, you know. What the fuck's going on? Okay. So I don't know what Los Platos refers to. I mean, that means the plates, but I wonder if it's talking about like tectonic plates, you know. I mean, I would assume so, right? I don't know. But yeah, this is really cool. So honestly, what this does, like, I'm content with this the way it is now. But what this does is it makes me excited for what the Switch 2 is going to look like. Like the next Pokemon on the Switch 2, it's going to be this expansive, but shit's not gonna be weird, like, because it's not gonna struggle to keep up, you know? The way I see it is the Switch is, everyone knows it's more powerful than the PS3 and the 360. But that was basically, like, this is basically a console that is more powerful than PS3 and 360 and also portable. And because, you know, because Pokemon and you've got Zelda and Mario and all the other games, but since we're talking about Pokemon right now, since Pokemon is exclusive to Nintendo, we're still seeing Pokemon evolve, like, with each generation. So, yeah, it'd be insane if Pokemon was, like, if Nintendo kept up ever since the GameCube and they didn't decide to hold themselves back with the Wii. We would have been seeing fucking PlayStation 5 level Pokemon games by now. And Zelda and shit. I mean, we will see that eventually, but yeah, it's crazy to think. So yeah, so just imagine what the next Pokemon's gonna be like on Switch 2. I mean, it's gonna be at least this size or bigger, and it's not gonna struggle to keep up. So, because the Switch is already pretty, I hate to say it, you know, because it, like, I don't see the Switch as an old console, but technically it is. Especially to some people that are teenagers. Like, let's see, it came out 2017. So 2020 was like 3 years after that. It might have been late 2017. So let's just say, you know, 2020 was 2 years after that. But we're coming to 2023 now, man. So this shit is 5 years old now. It's 5 years old, and that's basically a gen right there. That's a generation. So what we're seeing now is it's kind of interesting the way the Switch is, because, see, usually, like, the Switch stayed behind on purpose. Ever since, I mean, Nintendo stayed behind on purpose, like a gen, ever since the Wii. You know? But when you look at other consoles like the PS3, the PS4, especially the PS2, when you look at games that came out towards the end of that console cycle, like, they were always perfected, and they really brought the most out of it and shit, you know? Like, for example, if you compare Uncharted Drake's Fortune to The Last of Us, I mean, that's a perfect fucking example right there, you know? And the Switch definitely has some stuff that is polished, some more so than others, just like any other console. But what's interesting about the Switch, though, is that you can actually tell that it's struggling to keep up. And that wasn't really the case with the end of PS2, end of PS3 generation titles. Like, those were mastered. Actually, that's not true. Because The Last of Us on PS3, like, that shit was really fucking struggling. But I mean, you didn't have, like, weird graphical glitches, like, you didn't have, like, clickers popping in and out, you know what I mean, like, in the fucking distance. So I don't know, like, I'm not a developer, like, maybe they phoned it in a little bit here, like, because I know some people are claiming that, but to me, since, you know, I haven't bought a mainline Pokemon game, like, since 2013, like, which was Pokemon X and Y, and that was the first 3D Pokemon game. So, I actually joked that Nintendo took so long to make 3D models for Pokemon that they got double 3D, because it was 3D like this, like graphics-wise, but also 3D, like, pop out of the screen 3D on the 3DS. So I told them, so Nintendo waited so long that we got it in double 3D. But, yeah, nobody gives a shit about that anymore. 3D technology was incorporated into VR, so we did utilize that technology. But it's just not popping out of everyone's TV at home like we all thought it would be, like, back then, you know? It wasn't that great. It was okay. I'm sure James Cameron would say otherwise, but he actually puts in the massive budget required to get that shit looking like it should, you know, in his films. But what else was I gonna say? I think that was pretty much it, though. Popping in and out. I don't know. This is awesome. I mean, look how big this fucking is, you know. So, as far as Pokemon, I mean, damn, this is awesome. You know, I'm excited to see how it goes. Oh yeah. So technically, I did buy Arceus, which came out, I don't know how long ago now, maybe 7 months ago, perhaps around there. And I tend to only buy Pokemon games when there's been a significant jump. So, before I bought X and Y, I bought Diamond and Pearl. That was like 2008 or 2009. And then I waited a few years, and then finally when they made a 3D Pokemon game, I bought Pokemon X. After that, I didn't buy another one until way later, about 7 years later, when Arceus came out, because it was the first quote-unquote somewhat open-world Pokemon game, and they were trying something different. It was also in ancient times, so so that was my big jump. And now, this one has been the shortest jump. Only 7 months later, I bought this one, but this has technically been my my newest mainline Pokemon game since Pokemon X, because like this one plays vastly different to Arceus. So I never even picked that shit up. Nice. Those descriptions should stay like at least 2 seconds longer, because I can read them fast enough, but they go away really fucking fast and shit. But yeah. But anyway, I guess I'll end this video there. I'll start actually playing now. So, you know, thanks for watching and shit. And I honestly, I'm happy with this game, man. Like, you know, it's gonna struggle or whatever. We're at the end of the Switch's lifespan, but I mean, how much am I gonna give a shit that this fucking old man looks like crap from way over here? Really, like, you know what I mean? Like, look, I can go further than that. He'll look worse, but let's see. So okay, so technically, you know, you could be a gamer right now with hyperbole and be like, man, that fucking old man looks god awful over there, man. Like, fuck, these developers suck. But really, like, how much am I really gonna give a fuck about that? You know, like, who gives a shit about that guy? I mean, you know, like, yeah, it doesn't look like fucking old super PS5 and shit, you know. And you could even say it doesn't even look like PS4, but I mean, really, like, who gives a fuck, you know? Like, now, what would upset me is, like, let's see, this is what do you call it, a Poke Center? So from here to like somewhere over here, like if there was a bunch of like loading screens for like, okay, like let's say I'm over here now, and then right about here, like the screen would go black and it would start loading and shit, and then it would let me continue over here, and then it was like, wait a minute, let me go back, and like it stops, dark screen again, and then loads again. That would suck, you know, like that would be like, okay, developers, like what the fuck, you know what I mean? But I can literally run as far as I want. And yeah, things might look like shit in the distance, like, but that's just in the distance. Actually, the trees and the foliage and everything look great. And I'm also watching this on a big ass TV, so it would look even better on the Switch if I was playing in handheld. So, honestly, I'm happy, man. It's kind of cool too that you can have your Pokemon out, like, just chilling. They can actually. This is not the actual fighting. This is the auto battle. That's actually the first time that I ever used it. So, and then you just press the right trigger, call them back. So this is right bumper. Where'd they go? Yeah, and then this is right trigger. So that's fucking awesome. I mean, obviously they're progressing. Now, to people that buy this shit fucking yearly, I understand that they're like, what the fuck? Like this, either this entry was way better or they hardly added shit, you know? Well, you're the one fucking paying $60, you know, once a year for this crap. I mean, it's not going to be revolutionary every time, because first of all, it's made for kids. Second of all, it's all about catching creatures and shit, and they change it up. They add new ones and they take away some old ones and shit like that. They mix and match it. Third, they do add some new shit, but it's, you know, whether it's worth $60 every single year, chances are it's not going to be if you're a diehard, because you're going to find stuff to complain about, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, you know, the complaints are valid, but the more often you buy them, the more complaints you will naturally have, you know, because they're not going to reinvent the fucking wheel every year. So for someone like me, I mean, shit, like, this is a lot of fun. It's awesome, and like, I just got started, so it's going to be a hell of an adventure, and I think that's what we want from these games, you know. So anyway, maybe I should just start like reviewing games for like my friends and my family, you know, because I'm not looking to get views or anything. I don't give a shit about that stuff. Just, it's kind of cool to be able to record longer than 30 fucking seconds on a Switch, man. So anyway, I guess this really was my review. You know, obviously I didn't show everything, like a real battle or anything, but we already know what those are like. I mean, I guess I could try to find a battle real quick. And yeah, there's other methods of transportation, but I barely started the game, so like, you know, I have to run normally and shit. So yeah, the way I had my Pokemon battling those other Pokemon right there, like that's not really how you actually fight. It's just an auto battle for convenience. Okay, so here we go. This is gonna be an actual fight now. See, like the grass looks like shit here. That's valid, but it's just like the camera. You know, you have control over the camera. Grass does look pretty shitty there, actually. Okay. Yeah, I've got a Magikarp there because obviously I want him to evolve into a Gyarados. The grass looks great here, but it looked like shit during that fight, so let's go somewhere else real quick. Well, you want to get your ass kicked? Yeah, see, when you see the Pokemon up close, they look pretty good. Like, you can see the fur on that pig and shit, you know? Like, not really right now, but for that second that he was up close. It's funny how gamers talk about that shit. It's like, did you see that? You can see the fucking hair on that pig, dude. Alright, let's go. It's like, none of us are amazed in real life when we see that fucking hair on a pig. Nobody gives a shit. Well, that's not necessarily true. Alright, well, finally, after the third time I say this, I'll end this video here. Thanks for watching, and of course I mostly made this for family and friends, so, well, I only made it for them. So, see ya. Oh, and get this game, by the way. It's cool. Laters.